Thanks for joining us today as we review the game Positano from Slugfest Games.
Hey gang, thanks for joining us at Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sara Meadows, and today we're reviewing the game Positano from designer Jeff Grisenthwaite.
This is a 1 to 4 player bidding placement game where players will draft tiles to determine where they will be building seaside villas along the cliffsides in Positano, Italy.
Let's take a look at how it's played.
To set up the game, give each player their colored buildings and cards.
Select goal cards for your game, and then reveal tiles for the first round.
Players will simultaneously select a bid card and a booster card.
Bids are first compared by adding the top amount for location plus the booster.
Then, in bid order, players will draft a location tile.
Then, block tiles are drafted in the same manner.
And finally, build tiles. When players receive their build tiles, they will stack blocks on their drafted location and construct the matching roof. So here's a 2-story villa with a luxury gold roof.
Cards are then set aside and new ones are selected for the next round.
Some building tiles will allow players to add on to an existing building or even remodel and upgrade the roof type, assuming that they have the blocks necessary.
At the end of the game, points will be awarded for each level that can view the seaside, with 1 point for bronze roofs, 2 points for each silver roof, and 3 points for each luxury gold roof.
Goals are scored, and an additional point is awarded for each gelato symbol that appears on your played cards and tiles, and then the player with the most points wins. In Positano, wealthy real estate moguls will be building luxurious villas on the cliffsides in order to score lots of points and be the winner.
Yes, Slugfest Games has put out a number of games. The one you're probably most familiar with is the classic, the Red Dragon Inn, which is coming up on, I think it's almost 20 years old. Yeah, it's getting close to that. So they've had that game out for a long time with lots of different expansions and have started adding some new games to their line, including Positano. And this one has an interesting bidding mechanic. Everybody has the same bid cards and the same booster cards. And then it's just in which order do I want to try and draft those tiles using the bid cards, and so that you can make the best of trying to get your building with the best views of the sea.
So all the tiles are going to come out at the beginning of the round. You're going to have the opportunity to evaluate, do I want that top row item the most? Do I want the bottom row? All the cards are going to give you different values for each of those, and you're going to have to determine which one is most important to me. And it is simultaneous, so everybody's doing it at the same time, which is great. There is plenty of thinking that goes into, like, oh man, I really want that gold roof, so I want my high number at the bottom. However, I don't have any blocks in my supply, so it's not going to do me any good if I don't get 4 blocks from the draft. And so hoping that you get higher numbers, working to try to count the cards that other people have played in the game. There's kind of a lot that goes into just putting 2 cards together and putting them on the table.
I enjoyed this game in that you can play it a little more casually and not be so hardcore and just place your building. You could do that, yes. Because it is it's an easy, relaxing game. You're just getting the tiles.
Beautiful. And
then hoping that your buildings will be able to see the seaside from them. Or like the game we just played, I wasn't quite so hardcore. We played with our kids, and then I ended up getting beat pretty badly.
Destroyed. They were playing hardcore.
They were.
One of the interesting things in the game is the differences, I think, between player counts. So when you play only a 2-player game, you're actually not going to fill all of the available spaces, which makes it a little more like you have to be more careful about where your pieces do end up at, because there's a really good chance that you're not going to get all the spaces that you wanted. In a higher player count game, everything's going to be full and there's stuff's going to be blocking the other things, and so trying to get higher and faster, your strategy is going to change depending on your player count, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a little easier to get a higher point game in the 2-player game versus a 4-player game, because there's going to be obviously less chances for being blocked. But those goal cards really do play into, because you can win the game by having the goal cards done better than everybody else. So, and the gelato points can also swing it. There's just enough gelato points that if you aren't paying attention, those gelato symbols are usually on the tiles that aren't that great. And so it does give you a point for each one of those symbols, so that can help pull you if you end up with a real bad bid. Oh, I'll take the points. So it's just straight up points, which is nice.
Right, it's a nice balance. It's also going to be in the cards on your hand, you're going to have those gelato symbols, and they're going to be on your lower numbered booster cards. So you're incentivized to play those, you've got a 21 and a 22 in your hand, but you're actually incentivized to play that 5 and 6 or whatever, because they're going to give you the additional guaranteed points at the end of the game. And that is the balance in this game. Do I take things that are on the board that are guaranteed and goals that I know I can get, or do I try to, hope that I actually can still see the seaside once all these buildings are stacked up in front of me?
Yep, there's already an expansion that has been released for this. We saw it at Origins. We weren't able to get it, but you can be on the lookout for that one as well.
I will say that this is the type of game where, I'll be honest and a little brutal, the cover didn't really attract me a whole lot. Like, I didn't think that this game was going to be as enjoyable as it was just by looking at the size of the box. When I actually got it to the table, though, there's some nice things going on. The simultaneous play is great. The actual, trying to block other people's views is fun. Even, it's not even fiddly, but the little tactile experience of clipping your buildings together and putting the roof on and stacking it on the thing. There's a lot of really fun things going on in this one.
I wish they would have designed the box a little differently, because as is, your little stand that helps you be able to have the different levels of the cliffside does not fit in the box. It is very easy to assemble because it's only a couple of little pieces of cardboard and then it lays flat inside. But I feel like we could have shrunk it down width-wise and made it just an inch thicker and cut down dimensions to make it fit. Although I'm sure there were plenty of reasons why that didn't happen. So it would have been nice, but
those are the nitpicks.
Those are the nitpicks.
If you can survive that stuff, then this is a very enjoyable experience at several player counts, and we'd recommend that you check it out.
Yeah, and there's a solo mode that we didn't even mention, which we haven't tried, but if you're into solo games, this one has a whole different mechanic for being able to draft the tiles because you're not bidding against anybody else.
Check it out, and as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in, following along, liking all of our videos here at Tantrum.